So, we've done everything so that we can be live.
We are live.
Like,
oh, hello.
Hey, live people.
Hi, people. So I have a lovely guest with me today. I have Elsa Farouz-Fouquet. Did I pronounce?
Well done.
Okay. Yay! Right, I better introduce her properly. So she has, in her own words, a badass bio. Okay. Elsa is a holistic practitioner, a natural-born teacher, lifelong learner, and nurturer who has always been concerned about the needs of all. Her humour and relatability are immediately apparent. Yes, they definitely are.
Look at the blushing. Look at the blushing. I'm blushing. I can feel
making it easier to flow into a partnership with her. Elsa's compassionate and intuitive demeanour, as well as well-curated skills, allow her to delve into the deepest truths and access the higher intelligence to investigate underlying realities. She seeks to connect the dots to unify the forces of mind, emotion, spirit. Sorry, something covered the rest of that.
I just stop reading. It's fine. I'm just me.
No, we will get. Oh, and body, by accompanying her clients on the path of the power of wholeness, thus uncovering new joyful ways of being.
Is that where I dabble?
A beautiful bio.
And I'm giggly. No, it's not in there, but yeah.
Yeah. So hello and welcome to anybody who's joining us today, now or on replay. We don't mind either way. So I just wanted to sort of delve in a little bit to how you found your journey of healing and sharing your healing gifts with others, Elsa.
It was definitely not a straight line. Nothing's a straight line.
Never are they?
Nothing is ever a straight line with me. How? People tended to naturally gravitate towards me to feel good. And it might be, the amount of silly things I say per minute, and it might be some profound stuff that I would come up with. So it took me a while to realize that was how I was hardwired. And I'll say something that can make people cry or make them feel much better really quickly. It depends. Sometimes you have to cry, then you can feel better. But, and I was always really interested in how things happen and why they happen and how people tick and how they function. And I would read Greek mythology when I was 8. The world made a lot more sense to me through mythology and all the gods and everybody who was arguing than looking at what was going on, in the world we were presented with one higher power and everybody else behaving, and the supposed unconditional love that still made you do things and jump through hoops to then be accepted. That didn't sit right with me from the beginning. And it still doesn't, although I respect it. Respect that some people need that. And and then life took me in different directions, and I ended up in China, and I wanted to learn Reiki, and I didn't have the opportunity to learn Reiki because the friends I was supposed to do it with decided to do it on their own and not invite me, kind of thing. They basically did what worked for their schedule, and I didn't fit in there, and I found out later, which annoyed me a tiny little bit. But then afterwards, when that came up again, when I had moved to India and I could learn with a full-on master, etc., I understood why, that time wasn't the right time and the new time was the right time. And so I started with Reiki, and that unlocked a whole bunch of things and allowed me to explore a whole bunch of things and how I functioned and how the people around me functioned, etc., And then I took it from there, and it just went in every single direction possible, and things came to me. A friend gave me oracle cards, and I kept falling into the right topic at the right time, and I just said yes to all of that bit by bit, and I just kept going, and then I made it my job.
Wow.
So that's why never a straight line.
No, So how did you actually end up in China? Before
Um,
you...
my husband's job, my
Oh,
ex-husband's job.
yes.
Ex, newly exed, not axed, but exed, and not hexed either, because that's not.
Oh,
the
no,
stuff
no, no.
I do. I don't do stuff like that. But yeah, I followed my ex-husband for his job, and then we moved to India, and then we went back to China, and then I decided it was time to go back to France.
Mm.
And
So now that you're in France and you have a healing practice,
I have a
can you
healing
tell us a little bit
practice.
about that?
Well, I work online still, and I work at the practice, and this is my playground. It's in Normandy, in a little town next to a spa town. So a bunch of people come every year to do spa treatments and all sorts of pleasant things. And that brings me a few more people on a regular basis, and I'm just growing that out, but still working online for a whole bunch of people who are not here in France.
Mm. Well, that's lovely that you can actually give treatments and things to people all over the world if you so choose.
Yes, yeah, we can do mindscaping, we can do RTT hypnosis. I'm also a wellness advocate for the #1 essential oil company in the world. So I've been doing oil since 2015 on a serious basis. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously a lot easier when you can smell the oils in the practice, but when we're talking about their properties for emotional and physical healing, etc., you don't really need to like the oil, you need to want to use the properties. And anyway, if you don't like an oil, just stick it on your back, on your spine, or under your feet, and you let it do its thing, because it'll deliver to every cell in your body as and when it needs to, within about 20 minutes usually. And it does its thing. So even if you don't like an oil, you can use it. So it's the function of the oil. It's not the pretty smells and the diffusers. And obviously, I've got the diffuser going there. That helps when they smell nice. But some of them, quite honestly, you really don't like the smell of them, because you've got the emotional healing attached to that particular oil's vibration to go through. And then you're either indifferent to it or you can't get enough of it. It just depends. So I do a lot of that. Essential emotions coaching.
Yes. So what have you currently got going through your diffuser?
I have the passion blend and grapefruit. Very nice. A bit spicy passion blend. It's got cinnamon and grapefruit. I'm a sucker for citrus oils anyway. And I'm a sucker for cinnamon. I love cardamom. It gives you a very clear mind. Cardamom and lemon are great together. But I switch and change it as and when I want to. I don't care. I've got all the oils here, so I do what I want.
Yeah.
I can play as much as I like.
Of course you can. I can clearly see that you have a lot of fire in you, as we know. Because I gave you a reading a while back, didn't I?
Yes, you did. There's a YouTube video somewhere about that, isn't there?
Did we make anything? I can't remember.
I don't
I don't think we did. You know?
Well, we were on Zoom.
Mention too.
Yes, there is fire. There is fire.
But also that beautiful water. Should we say what your top 3 are? So your sun, moon, and your rising.
Sure. So I'm a Sagittarius sun. So it's my birthday soon. So get your presents. Yes. And Cancer rising and a Taurus moon. Creature comforts.
Yes, creature comforts. Beautiful, healing, patience, and sort of, what's the word? Well, the capacity to feel the feels and not be completely swept away with them.
Yeah, I can see things for what they are. I mean, if I watch The Little House on the Prairie, I'm going to cry my eyes out, and I'm crying with everything I watch. So I could be watching the Olympics and crying at these, when they go through the line, and I'm with them because I know they've worked hard and they've given it their all, and it's beautiful. So I'll cry then too. But even here at the practice, there's a whole bunch of people who say, you don't identify with your patients. For starters, they're not my patients, they're my clients, because I'm not a doctor, so they're not my patients.
Yeah.
And I see them as human beings, and it's possible to go into feelings with someone without taking them on. You accompany them and you take them on. If somebody's going to talk to me about losing their a parent really early on, and they're still affected and they start welling up, well, I'm going to start welling up with them because it's a sad thing they're going through. And it's just sad. It doesn't mean I'm going to start bawling. I'll still be there and holding space for them, but I'm with them.
Yes.
And I know it's theirs, but it wakes something up in me. And just let it out with a few tears, and we're fine. I'm still there, in a position to help them. I'm not going to collapse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting how we actually have to hold space for our clients, but at the same token, we're human.
Exactly. I'll always tell them.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're all in the same boat. Everybody comes in and they tell me, I've got this problem and that problem and blah, blah, blah. And I always tell them, you're normal. You're normal. Everybody has their problems. Everyone. So we're all in the same boat. We've been through pretty much the same things, all of us, or the variations of, and we're all affected as adults. So, there's no point in putting a barrier or being hermetic or trying to hold a persona. I don't need the whole white coat thing to be with people. That's not what I'm interested in. Hot chocolate.
Oh, darn, I'm jealous of your hot chocolate now. I wish I'd given myself more opportunity to make it.
With the orange essential oil.
Oh, very fancy.
Oh, well, yeah, that's my dam.
Mine is a warm squash, but the mug is my own design.
Gemini. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just purple.
Connection is my superpower.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Where to go?
Oh, you're the boss.
Oh, darn, do I have to be a boss today?
You wanted to ask me questions. Go on then.
So what's your favorite sort of healing modality to provide for people?
By far, essential oils. Only those that I work with, not other brands. I can feel the stuff working, so I don't want to play with other brands. I know the quality. I know the purity of the intentions behind them. Every side of the bottle is pure. The business practices are pure. The botanical practices are pure. They're people-based to begin with. And that transfers into the final product and how you can use it. So essential oils, because you can do the emotional side and the physical side at the same time. And we know that everything that's showing up in the physical body has an emotional root.
Yeah.
And we can really access that and really change that by working with the emotions. And but sometimes, you got a funky belly. This morning I had a lady with, she keeps getting UTIs. And I got a specific book out because I like to bring in other practitioners into the work with me, so they don't feel like I know everything and I hold the key to everything. I'm nobody's guru, right? I want people to be empowered. So I get that book out, and usually they're like, oh, what's this book? I'm going to buy it. So it's the Dictionary of Ill Ailments. I've got it here.
Okay.
But it's the French version because my customer was French. But I have it in French and I have it in English, and she has UTIs all the time. So I looked into the urine section because that's where you go for that.
Funny that a urinary tract infection would be in the urine section.
I know, not very glamorous, I'm afraid. But I read the whole thing to her, and it corresponded to what she'd been telling me, and it spelled out to her exactly what was going on. And so she's also got digestive issues and stuff. And that means that I can then go, hey, we're taking into account all the emotional stuff that is going on. You've told me about it. We've spoken. Usually I speak for a good hour with my clients the first time I meet them, because I want to get to know them and see what's going on. And there's always bits that keep coming in, and, the puzzle needs to be as complete as possible before we start working, knowing that the talking is already work. And then that means I can take her to a place where we can use essential oils for the emotions, but we'll also have those for the digestive system, this, that, and the other. So we can combine the physical and the emotional straight away. Now, there's another modality that I love using, and that's obviously easier for people who can see me here. Otherwise, they can find another practitioner, is the access bars sessions. So I don't know if you've heard of access consciousness bars.
Remind me what it is. I remember you used some for your daughter and some stress or something,
Right,
didn't you, at one point?
It's a hands-on process that happens mainly on the head. So you basically prime the pump by doing the head, the feet, the hands, and then you go back to the head for the rest of the session. And it unplugs all sorts of programming, and it gives you space between the ears. It's a bit like, I always find different metaphors. That's another thing, we make metaphors. Today, the metaphor that came in is that when you work your garden, you know, you just turn the soil over, and the stones and the twigs and all sorts of stuff is going to come out, and you'll be able to collect it, put it to the side, and then you can work the ground, right? And so that's what came to me today. That was the metaphor of the day. Otherwise, I say that it's like defragmenting a computer and then refragmenting it. It's taking all the data that's in a mess, putting it in order, and making things nice and neat and plain and tidied up. And then you can start living differently, because the possibilities are different, because you've got brain space and you can think. The other way I describe it is those switchboards with all those cables that are mixed up. I tell people we're going to unplug everything during the session, and then they'll be able to plug whatever they want to plug in as and when things come up. And so I do that session before a lot of the other work, because it allows me to level the playing field, to really bring their nervous system down, to really know that I've only got good intentions for them, and they come out with massive relief straight away. They don't have to wait until their essential oil order comes in. Sorry, I've got a curl on my tongue. They tend to do that. They don't have to wait. They get relief within the session. And the lady this morning said she felt like a completely different person when she came out. Her skin color was different. Her skin tone was different. Her demeanor was different. Her shoulders had dropped, whereas she told me when she came in, she had a knot in her belly. She didn't know what to expect. And the doctors, you know, physios and all that, can never get her shoulders to drop. They're always really, really tight. And just one session and she was a different person. So really, those two are the fastest and the most efficient. I'm going to learn metamorphic massage also soon. Ooh, sounds fancy.
Life-changing sounds.
Life-changing sounds. Yeah, it's about all the stress you picked up when you were in utero. So people who've had things that have been following them throughout their life, or who are aware of a difficult time in utero, can then release a whole bunch of things by just having that massage done. Imagine the good it can do.
Yeah.
Going straight back to when you were in mummy's belly. So I'm thinking adoptees would probably benefit from a huge amount of, benefit a huge amount from that. Because, you know, what goes through a woman's mind when she knows she has to give up her baby, and, you know, it's heavy stuff. So we're going to deal with the heavy stuff. So I'm doing my training in January on that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, yeah.
And otherwise, you know, good old Bach flowers that I also practice, because they're soft and they're gentle and they're subtle, and they're a bit like the travelator at the airport. They just take you gently towards your destination. And for people who have no bandwidth to do anything and a small budget, I make their personalized blend according to what came out in their questionnaire, and they can just drop a few drops in their water and sip that through the day, and that's all they need to do. So depending on what bandwidth you've got, what budget also, I tailor everything. And then emotional mind reset, which is my kind of tapping, which is going to go a lot deeper. I've done some with Yasmin Boland and the lady.
I know. I think I was there at one of those. That was amazing. And then we did something together, didn't we, as well, at one point?
Yeah, we did. And so, yeah, EMR is I think it's pretty amazing. But yeah. So it depends on what comes up. It really, in the conversation I have with clients, then I'll go, okay, I'm basically assessing needs, and then I offer, and then they decide. But it's true that leveling the playing field with an access bar session is great. And I've done some work with people who I sent out to do an access bar session with someone, and then come back, and then we keep, then we do the work together because they've had a whole bunch of things taken out, or at least appeased. And the more sessions you do, the more benefit you get from them. So how does it get better than that?
Yeah. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I do it on my kids. I tried a session with a 2.5-year-old last week.
How did that go?
None of it. She was having none of it whatsoever. I managed to do a few positions, but she was like, I was making her draw pictures. Well, she was drawing potatoes. I asked her to draw a potato for me. And she was constantly moving my hands out of the way. So I thought, all right, okay, we'll do essential oils, and mummy will rub them under the feet and on the back and put them in the diffuser. She wasn't really. But she went out like a light, which was a major problem for her mother, who was absolutely exhausted. So
so was the baby having like sleep issues and things?
Definite massive sleep issues. She was a preemie, and she's full of will, and she would not sleep, just would not sleep. So I did some of her access sessions. So I know it was working because my hands were going. I get tingling and heat in my hands. So whatever I managed to do did go through. But then we've got the oils, and her mum said as soon as she got the oils, she went to bed, which is life-changing for a tired parent.
Definitely.
So you bet your bum I'm not going to give up the oils.
I was thinking it's kind of like, if you're thinking touching the feet or whatever, you sort of like bring in a bit of that grounding quality.
Definitely.
But then also, I think of like the element of water when I think of sleep, because like Neptune and dreams and all of that is sort of connected. And in some respects, we probably have a lot of our emotional realm within the subconscious anyway, as you're probably very aware. So it's kind of that the earth and the water are sort of balancing out again.
It pulls you in a position where you can receive. And we don't fall asleep. Sleep comes over. It takes us over, and touching the feet is really important. And it's a reflexology spot, obviously.
Yeah.
And massage somebody's feet, and you've massaged their entire body, and therefore you've accessed all of their emotional range. How can you not feel better after a foot massage? It's impossible. And walking on the beach, grounding in the grass, just touching the feet is amazing. The brains is the big toes, mainly the toes. So start with the big toe. Get that big toe massaged.
I remember you did was it the glue foot challenge?
The blue toe challenge. Yes, I did the blue toe challenge. Was it in May last year? It was a full month of coaching for free with blue tansy essential oils. It was a blue toe challenge because boy is that oil blue, and it will stain everything. So you've got to make sure that you're ready to put it on and then put on your socks. So we did it in May because I didn't want people to have really manky toes in the summer with their sandals. But obviously some people there was a lady in Thailand or in Singapore or something, so she had to have her manky toe out. So it gets a bit grotty. But it was 1 drop of blue tansy on the big toes for a month, and the coaching with that once a week, and worksheets and all sorts of things. After the first week, everybody was crying. Second week, they all had the big lines of the projects they wanted to put in place. And third week, they were starting to, zone in on the things they wanted to do in each part of that project. And then fourth week, they were gone. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, we went through the emotional cleanse. everybody was crying for a week. End of the first week, everyone was crying.
That comes you in doing the whole supporting people throughout the journey,
Yeah,
bringing the healing. It's like bringing everything together.
Well, sometimes you just gotta cry.
You've got to be in the comfort of your own home to do some of it. Yeah, that's you all over, isn't it?
That's why I really like doing rapid transformational therapy sessions at home. Well, with people in their bed or at home, because once you've been basically pressure washed in a very long hypnosis session where you've done regressions and you've got a whole bunch of stuff out, maybe for the first time for some of it, where you gave meaning to those memories and those things you may have repressed or you may have forgotten about, but not in full, because it tends to be things you know about that come back, but they come back in full color with all the light and, you know, all the information. And then you're probably going to need a big nap. I'd rather someone didn't come to me in the practice to do it and stayed home so that they can avoid, if they're, you know, a couple of hours away, they don't have to drive to go home.
Oh, yeah.
They may be in a daze still, not in a hypnotic state, but in a state where they're still processing information. They normally feel, well, they always feel a lot better anyway after the session, but I prefer them to have the freedom to just crash in their sofa or go have a massive nap or have a shower or spend a half hour in the loo, because sometimes that's how it comes out. And you know, the privacy of their own home. Not hog my toilet here, but they can if they want to, but the next person might need the toilet. But let's remain practical. That's probably my Taurus side. But anyway, I've made the practice here comfortable. They've got sofas and, you know, seats, and it's not clinical. It doesn't look cold, I think. I mean, I've got William Morris everywhere. Look. But sometimes
I should know who William Morris is.
Sorry?
I feel I should know who William Morris is.
Oh, yes, you should. No, let's not should on ourselves or other. We can look at William Morris later. He made all these little, you know, fabrics and wallpapers and things. Ooh, I'm not about to present the weather because I don't know which way to point. But yeah, in the privacy of their own homes for certain sessions is, I think, much better.
Yeah.
I remember going to yoga sessions in Delhi. You know, I lived in New Delhi, and you'd come out and you were like, completely elastic and probably a couple of inches taller, which in my case is pretty cool. 5'1", 5'4" after coming out of a 5'3" coming out of a.
That's my height.
And then you get hit by the reality of life, and that's pretty violent. So if we can avoid that for people, why not?
Wow.
Your turn.
My turn.
Your turn.
I might just throw in some fire quotes and see whether it sparks anything.
Okay.
So we have so this was supposedly the Buddha, but you never know, because we're not here to ask, are we?
Well,
he's not here to. You never know. Okay, so just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life.
God, that's 100%. I think that's why they go and look for spiritual lives. And the problem is when you get told what to think and how to behave, that doesn't sit very well with me. Dogma. I'm not a fan of dogma. Even with little things like crystals, all right? I wear crystals. Okay, crystals.
I do too.
Crystals for sale. I've got, you know, and people come to me and they. Sorry.
Oh, crystals for sale. Now it's
yes, I have a lovely collection of crystals. I can't.
Do you ship to England?
I ship wherever. You decided to Brexit, people. The shipping duties are going to be at your end. People come into me and they're like, oh, well, I've been told by such and such a healer or whatever never to wear this crystal with that crystal at the same time. How about you do what you want?
Yeah.
The day you feel the need to take off a crystal, ring, earrings, bracelet, whatever, you just listen to your intuition and you do that. How about that?
Exactly.
Because that means that they've decided that that one crystal was for this kind of thing only and nothing else. And you can't mix it with another crystal. Don't worry. You'll feel it if you need to remove a crystal. My best friend made me a labradorite ring years ago, and I've been wearing
Oh, I've got one of those on.
Ooh, lovely. Well, I was wearing it every single day for maybe 5 or 6 years when she gave it to me. And a couple of months ago, I just had to take it off.
Oh.
I just had to take it off. And I haven't felt the need to put it back on or the urge to put it back on or no. And it doesn't mean that I don't love it. It doesn't mean that I don't need to use it anymore. The season for that ring has paused.
Fair enough.
That's it. Maybe it has something to do with my divorce. It was a labradorite for protection, you know. I'll put it on whenever I want to put it on, not because somebody's told me anything in particular. Same as like birth month rings and birth month crystals. What a load of marketing crock. Just, you know, try to, look at the astrology and the symbolism of that crystal. But if you look on 5 different websites, you're going to have 5 different crystals for your birth month, knowing that you're not just your birth month.
No.
You're a full day.
You are more than just your sun sign.
Exactly. So maybe look at your rising even more, or it depends what you're going through, and do what you freaking well want. I'm supposed to be covered in lapis and topaz. No. Well, I have lapis here, and I have sodalite, and I have rhodonite, and I have rainbow moonstone, and some more rainbow moonstone. I don't know why I have 2, but never mind. You know,
It's a work. But...
morganite, labradorite. Who cares? Blue moon.
Oh no!
Oh, you're gonna trap. Oh, don't break your selenite. Oh, look at
box.
Ooh, fancy. Is that
it
a
was
big
rose
apatite?
quartz that tumbled.
Oh, is it rose quartz? It looks white. Is that a big apatite at the bottom?
It is a big appetite.
Oh,
I do have a big appetite.
I love apatite. Oh, it's lush.
I came from a lovely shop in London, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, a little spiritual shop in London, and she was serving some jasmine tea, so I got some of that as well.
Oh, nice. Well, I've got jasmine essential oil here, which I applied just before we went on. I'm a sucker for gardenia at the moment, and blue lotus. Oh, blue lotus oil. It's fabulous.
What does blue lotus smell like?
I think it's difficult to compare it to anything else. It's very, very, very subtle. It's not an in-your-face oil, but it goes through you, and it's so good. It's like waking up the queen inside you. You know, it's Even my shamanic drum has blue lotus on it, so I'm a sucker for blue lotus oil.
Have you got your shamanic drum nearby?
No, I'm afraid it's at the house. I only do my shamanic work at the house because I'm surrounded with that forest, and it's the best place for that work. So, yes, I have a forest garden.
I have to see it another time then.
Oh, you're come over.
I just want to see it.
You're gonna have to cross the channel and come.
I am, aren't I?
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I did actually try and do that. So basically, my parents have said to me, "Oh, we haven't spent much time with you and your husband recently. Maybe we should go away somewhere." And I thought, "Oh, yes, please." So then I said, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice to go to Paris?" And I said, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice then to maybe visit my lovely friend Elsa?"
Yeah, I'm 3 hours away from Paris. Skip Paris and come here. Skip Paris.
Anyway, at the time of year that we were going to go, my parents said, "Oh, well, actually, I think the weather won't be that amazing, but how about a trip to Corfu?" So we went to Corfu.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was lovely. It was lovely.
We can't fight against Corfu weather. But I mean, Paris has much better weather than we do here.
Oh,
it's actually a lot hotter there. I mean, it's 3 hours east to begin with. but it's hotter there, but mainly because of the pollution and the enclosed space and buildings and stuff.
Because you're near Normandy, is that
I'm
right?
in Normandy. Yeah. I'm deep south in Normandy, so it's nearly not Normandy anymore where I am. So, serious France when you get down where I am.
Serious.
Normandy's a bit okay, nearly English, but this is a bit lower down. Yeah, 12 kilometers away. It's not Normandy anymore. Can you imagine? It's okay.
You're a spiritual seeking friend, anyway.
Yeah. But I have a
my perspective of life and being on lots of different journeys. And
who cares? You know. But I have a couple of Irish friends, and one of them is a druid, and the other is a Reiki master, and they're around here, so it's a pretty cool place to be.
Oh, what, do they live near you now?
Well, yeah, they I think they moved here before I moved back.
Oh,
I'm a bit of a stranger in my own country. I've only been back for 4.5 years, so I was away for 22 years. So this country definitely changed when I was away. I kept coming back for twice a year for holidays, but some of the changes I didn't really notice. Like you can do all sorts of paperwork online. That was new. So I had to learn to adult in my home country, which was a bit strange.
Oh, yeah. It's home when it wants to be home.
Well, it still feels like I'm traveling sometimes, so it's pretty good. I love traveling. I don't feel 100% French. And most of my friends around here are expats. So
okay.
Lots of Brits and lots of, I've got Welsh friends and Irish friends and Dutch friends and, so we can still speak English.
Of course you can. And didn't you used to be a teacher at one point as well?
Yes. I was a French teacher, so I have a PGC in modern foreign languages. So I just did French. I could have done Spanish and French, but I didn't happen to have classes in Spanish. But yeah, I taught at Cheltenham College Junior School. Excuse me, and the Castle School in Taunton and Fitzallen High School in Cardiff. So yeah.
Wow.
And I was the wacky teacher. And that's my phone going. And Star Wars. So hang on a second. My daughter knows I'm here. Hang on, sorry. I don't even know how to stop that. Hey, Margot, I'm online right now. Okay. Is everything okay? Okay. All right. Speak to you later. Bye. Sorry, 15-year-old. I will be online.
Bless her. So she's all right.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, that's why. I took the liberty of answering just to check if she was okay. Yes. So I was the wacky teacher. Yeah. And yeah, I think I did all right. Well, at least I knew the kids weren't bored. And I told them straight up, if I'm bored when I'm teaching you, you're going to be bored and it's going to be crap for everyone. So
yeah,
let's have fun. But you let me work. Let me work with you. Don't prevent anybody from learning. Just, it'll be fun. And I warned them when stuff was boring and they had to learn it. I just said, look, it's the shut up and learn theory. Just go for it. Learn that bit and then you can play with the language. So that's what we did.
Oh, that would have been so much fun, I reckon. If I had teachers like you.
Yeah, sometimes the other teachers would come and check what I was doing because the kids were really noisy because I was making them do weird stuff.
What do you think the weirdest thing was that you made your
I made them recite conjugations by making motorbike noises.
First of all, what's a conjugation? Is that
conjugation is when you take a verb and you conjugate it because it takes a different form for every person. So you conjugate your verb for je, and you conjugate your verb for tu, and you conjugate your verb for il, elle, and all that. And I made them rehearse them out loud, pretending they were a motorbike. I'm pretty sure some of them remember. And then we had, in those days you could go to mobile phone shops and ask for the fake ones, those that were attached to that thing that would make the entire shop ring. You know how ring displays in some shops, you pull a ring and then there's a weight underneath, and if you pull it out and the weight touches something underneath, it starts ringing. Well, they had all those fake phones. Obviously I'm older than you, right? So they had those fake phones in the shops, and when they were done and they weren't selling those models, I'd go around to all the mobile phone shops in Cheltenham and collect phones. And so I'd teach the kids numbers by giving them enigmas and missions and things to do with the fake mobile phones, and they were never a boring day.
That sounds amazing.
Never a boring day. Well, you can't be bored when you're teaching. I mean, it's fun to learn, but for me it's fun to learn. I like learning, so obviously.
Wow, yeah, I'm a lifelong student, as you know.
So, well, same here. If I could be paid to learn and breathe, I'd be happy. Well, happier. No, I'm happy already. How can I say that? I'd be even more satisfied with life if I could just not worry about money and just learn stuff and share what I learn, but not, go in at 9 o'clock. I'm so glad I don't have to do that already. I mean, I choose my times. If I want to work till 11 o'clock and take somebody at 9 o'clock at night because they're working or they're working shifts or whatever, I've got the freedom to do that. But the next day I will not be up at 6:45. I will be up when I want to, so I choose my hours.
Oh, that's amazing. I would love to have that luxury.
I know, you have to get on the bus and everything, haven't you?
Yeah.
No,
the muggle job. Oh.
The muggle job. You've got a useful job. You've got you have a useful job.
Debatable to me. It's useful.
I'm sure your boss doesn't see that video.
Yeah, I'm sure it is useful being part of the cogs in the wheel of the NHS. Yes.
NHS, which I seem to realise has not received the money that would have been promised after Brexit or whatever, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's a lot
money
of
at the NHS if you left the UK.
I do not know.
The lies.
I know we got a minuscule pay rise at one point.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the NHS in general.
It
doesn't seem to be working better, does it? Don't worry, it's not going well here either. So.
What's the French health service like? Is it?
I use it as little as I can, not because it's bad, but because I like to do things for myself, and so I use my oils. I did use paracetamol when I picked up COVID in June. I went to a aromatherapy conference in Hungary, and I came back with COVID, so that was fun. And I couldn't even do COVID like a normal person. I had to go and pick it up somewhere else. So that for the first time since 2015, I used meds. I used paracetamol because my headache was just crazy, and I still needed to function, and that my throat was crazy sore. So, and I'm a fan of oils, but I'm not a fanatic. I'm not a fundamentalist. I could recognize that I needed a bit more help, so I used the oils and I used the meds. But we've got a really good platform that was not put out by the medical, government side of things. It's called Doctolib, and we can make appointments with doctors online and even have video conferences, like this. Because mine's about an hour and a bit away. I must say I live in what we call a medical desert, so there's hardly any doctors and they don't take anybody in. No new patients. And so it makes it difficult to go see a GP for your basic things. So my GP I usually see through video because he knows I know what I'm talking about. When there's something wrong, I'm like, okay, look. But I'll contact him if I need a blood test or something like this for one of the girls, or a referral, or a letter for the PE teacher because they both have funky wrists. I should look into that. About the wrists. And I mean, it's very efficient when you're there. When there's a problem, usually you get really, really good treatment, but they're all under crazy pressure. So I'm actually doing 10% off all of my services, apart from the oils, because I'm not the one setting the prices, in November and December for anyone who's in a carer position. So whether you work you're a doctor, or whether you've got somebody who's disabled at home, or someone who needs help, etc., etc., it's a blanket 10% off. In January and February, I'll do teachers, because everybody's under so much pressure.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Even if the medical, the system is better, it's turning into more of the English system. Gradually, they're managing to do it, and they know it's not a good example. I'm sorry, because of the waiting times.
Sure.
We've all been resisting as much as we could, but the pen pushers of this world decide for everybody else. And apparently, it's democracy. Well, once they've been elected, they still do what they want. So
it's the same for government all over the world, isn't it? Let alone health services and everything.
Would it be great if it were a lottery and you just get elected for a certain amount of time, finite amount of time, only once in your life and never again? That would be, you'd have to contend with, I don't know, everywhere people went and what happened to them, and they'd have to learn on the job, which is usually what the people who are elected have to do anyway. And that would be fair. Maybe that's, we've tried the current system for a long time, and it doesn't seem to be working for the plebs like us. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that online, but yeah, it tends to work really well. I mean, I used to live in Cheltenham, and I'd have to drive to Bristol, and I had to wait for a year and a half to get on the NHS dentist list. And I'd have to drive to Bristol, and it was once every 6 months, or once every year. It's every 6 months when we had the problem. We were lucky to get an appointment after 6 months. It's easier here, but it's getting worse by the day, I think. But so far, I've had everything I needed, but I've never had anything hard and bad. Cross fingers, touch wood, and monkey skin. And, but you've got to do what you've got to do, really.
I think everyone's kind of the same with what they feel. They'll do what they want to do, or do what they need to do. But I'm a bit like you in the sense that I never seem to go to a GP unless I desperately need something. But
it's usually for paperwork for the kids.
But the same token, I am one of those annoyingly unfortunate people in the sense that I have to have a load of meds for inflammatory bowel disease.
Ooh.
So, I mean,
I've got essential oils for that, and we could do some essential emotions coaching and see what's going on there.
Yeah, I just want to kick the sulfasalazine out the window. I just want that gone. And then I won't need the omeprazole, and I could just survive on iron tablets.
Yeah. Well, I never tell people to get off their meds because
I know.
Oh, unethical. It is no. But when you get into your body what it needs, and I've got a couple of things in mind for you, it changes its behavior, strangely. And therefore you can see if you want to cut down on meds. Obviously check with the doctor and gradually do. If you don't need it, don't throw it in your body, but it's the whole thing where I was saying it's the emotion side of things and the physical side of things. You got to be able to look after both at the same time. So obviously don't create, one thing that goes against another, but the synergy of it all, the holistic approach.
Of course.
That's the holistic approach. So, yeah.
I think definitely there's a lot of people in my experience, excuse the books that just fell on the floor. There's always books around somewhere.
That's a good thing about having a practice. I have to keep this space up about tidy. My home study is like a bomb went off in the middle of the paperwork. But here I'm like, I allow myself a pile and a half of stuff, which is right here and you can't see. but at least I don't have piles of books lying around.
Oh, it's just actually there was a book and a card deck that just went on the floor together.
Oh, you'll have fun picking up the cards.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, that's annoying.
I don't know. I
think there's basically a lot of people with trauma they haven't actually fully worked through, and that can hold a lot in the body, as you're probably very well aware anyway.
Definitely.
And I've healed a lot of trauma, so technically I probably don't need to be on the meds, but I've just kind of I don't want the whole poops and giggles thing. Literally,
there's cellular memory in there, and there's usually some leftovers that could do with more clearing. But why don't you go see an Access Bars practitioner and see how you feel coming out of the session?
There's one here, isn't there?
Well, I'm sure it's easier to find in the UK than it is to find them in France, but there's way more practitioners.
I wouldn't know where to find anybody like that in here, but I would have to
accessconsciousness.com.
Okay.
Find a practitioner. Poof, they come on screen.
accessconsciousness.com.
Or you just type in, Access Bars practitioner in your area, and then you'll see who's going to advertise. I have a professional profile, so obviously, I'm easy to find. But not everybody has a professional profile. But, because I've got the website, the this, that, the other, and the practice. But it's really, really good training. I'm working to be a trainer in it. We call ourselves facilitators because we're very fancy. So we have to take the training 3 times, and then after that, we can facilitate training for more people. Ooh, so maybe by the time you make it here, I'll be a facilitator, and I can even train you. But you need somebody to do it with you.
I think a road trip's in order, isn't it?
I think so. Well, it's a boat trip first, but yeah.
Yeah.
The whole car thing. Well, mind you, you're really not that far from the end, but you've got a good few hours to drive to get to my part. But yeah, get on the boat, and then it's an hour and a half after the ferry. It's easy.
An hour and a half
after the ferry. No, not taxi. I can pick you up. I can pick you up. You can also come in the car,
I don't drive.
Oh, well, there we go.
Nor does Ben right now.
Really? Oh, well, get your butts over to what we call Ouistreham, which is where the ferry comes in, and then I'll go pick you up. This is not an invitation for everyone on YouTube, I'm afraid. I'm not able to do that. But you can make your way to me, and it's a very nice little town. There's a spa town, blah, 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 and you can have a gîte, and I know a few friends who have gîtes, and they can have you over, and then you can come see me at the practice. Some people go to Thailand to get their teeth done. Some people go to Turkey to get their boobs done. You can come to France to get your brain done.
My brain? Oh.
Well, you access brain and your belly and whatever, Yeah. Sorry, I'm being very Sagittarius.
Why apologize?
It was a pretend apology. You didn't believe it.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
So do you want to talk astrology then?
Well, I don't have much to say.
I thought that was your plan all along.
I kind of get little bits in there occasionally, and
okay,
it's subtle, but it is there.
Okay, all right then.
Yeah, basically we're in Sagittarius season at the moment anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, we had the new moon fairly recently, and we've got the full moon, which will be it'll be Gemini full moon.
The other way around. New moon is on the 23rd, right?
We had the new moon, and we've got the full moon coming up soon, on the 7th or 8th, I believe. Actually, I've got a diary next to me.
Oh.
Yes,
I've got it in my phone.
Yes, 8th of December.
Full
We have
moon,
the
Tuesday.
moon. Full moon in Gemini.
Yes. 5:07 French time. So 4:07,
4:08
4:08 your time.
GMT. Yeah.
Yes. I've got that moon app that I really like on my phone.
Oh, what's the moon app you use?
It's called The Moon.
The moon.
I like when things are simple. It's called The Moon. And we're in the waxing gibbous, 80.6%. It's probably the wrong way around.
Oh, actually, I think I used to have that.
I like
I
that.
think I then got annoyed with it glitching slightly at times, but
Yeah.
that was maybe just my phone. It could have been my phone.
Well, I think I paid for it. I think. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yes.
maybe I had something similar then.
Mm.
Oh, I use time passages.
Oh, yes, I have time passages somewhere in my phone or my computer. I don't know. I think I paid for it for.
I think I
second
might have
time.
paid for a little bit of it because I wanted to have my chart and my
Yes.
husband's chart.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Yes. I like the human design. Have you tried human design yet?
Well, I actually had a human design reading fairly
Oh,
recently.
yes, you did. So what are you?
Yeah.
What are you?
So I'm a manifesting generator.
Ooh, like
Yes. And I can't remember what you said
what's your authority?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I should remember.
there's literally
these
3
things.
things you need to remember in human design. You can hold the whole of astrology in your head. Come on.
I can. Why can't you do that?
I know very human design. Okay, you're not
I do remember that he said that
frustration.
basically I need to follow my joy, and
Yes, well,
for all my decisions I need to actually just follow my joy. And if something doesn't light me up, within the I shouldn't follow it. And that basically the way I make decisions, I'm very quick to make decisions. I'll make it within a space of about 2 days, whereas a
Okay.
lot of people will take weeks and
month.
weeks. And
Yeah.
for me, I'll be choosing between 1 or 2 things rather than a whole host.
So you're not the emotional generator, manifesting generator, are you? You're a solar plexus manifesting generator, probably.
Solar plexus, yeah.
See how you feel in your gut and then make your decision.
Yeah.
All gung ho. Yeah. Well, when manifesting generator is great because you can start things with nobody's input, nobody's opinion, and you can carry things through. Whereas I'm a manifester. I start everything with no one's opinion. I don't care what people think. And then I go, oh, I need to rest. But my bursts of energy are massive.
Mm.
And then I need, if it's a project that takes more than a few days, I need somebody else to pick it up after that because I'm like, I'm done. I did the birthing side of things. You can take over the rest. It comes out in exactly the same way in the Clifton test. I don't know if you've done the Clifton test.
No, what's that one?
Clifton Gallup Strengths Test. It's got 3 names, but it's the Clifton test. And it gives you 34 strengths in order of appearance and in order of how you display them naturally in your life. And I have discipline as a 29 out of 34, which doesn't surprise anyone. But I have empathy as number 1. And I've got activator. So that bit where you start things and you don't finish.
Yeah, guilty.
I think I've got it somewhere on my desk because I have a collection of everything in the front of me. Oh, yes, I've got it. Hold on.
Although at the moment I'm making a Lunar Pumpkin planner 2023, and I will finish that.
I would probably do 5 weeks of that and then. So
well,
you've got
I have the I've got the principle on my website, but I want a perfect bound one, which Book Printing UK should hopefully do for me. But I'm doing on InDesign. I've taught myself how to use InDesign. Yeah, and put a 3mm bleed and turn it from A4 into A5. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And I think I've got as far as April. So I will carry on and cracking on today and tomorrow and hopefully get it fully done.
Really?
And then send it off to Book Printing UK, and hopefully I'm hoping before Christmas that I will get it done, like fully bound. It depends how long Book Printing UK take. because I've found that they're a better, from what I can see, they seem to be better at doing it than Doxu, because I think Doxu.com would be really expensive, and I think Printed.com, it told you how to do one that was a price of its own, but it didn't tell you how to do like loads of copies and how much that would cost, and it seemed like really expensive there as well. So I think that Book Printer UK will work with me and it'll be easier. That's the hope.
Yeah.
So I want it perfect bound. Can't stand spiral binding or
I'm
whatever.
not a fan of spirals, but I like the big spirals if the margin is big enough. But that's a whole bunch of wasted paper.
Sure.
I hate writing against a spiral. That's like
me too.
don't make me.
Or if it will go in my bag or something, and
unless-
I'll be like, oh, it's falling, the whole thing's falling apart now, and I've got a bit of wire here somewhere, and no.
Unless the spirals are at the top, in which case then it's super easy to work with.
Nah, no spirals for me.
No spirals. You're not a spiral girl. Well, see, I carry spirals wherever I do. So
in your hair.
maybe that's why I can put up with them.
Yeah, I haven't got any like ring curls today. Just like little waves.
There's no escaping these. But yeah, well, I hope you get it finished. I mean, you've got everything you need to finish it, right? I usually get. It's not that I get bored; it's that I run out of steam. I can absolutely love what I'm doing, but if it's a long thing, it's not for me. So that's why I'd like to have a team of people I can say, I've had a bright idea. Why don't you finish this? What I want. And that's hard enough for me to explain what I want. And then, yeah, you go ahead and do it. I need some metal element in my life.
I was just thinking, well, what's stopping you from having a team?
Money. Money. That thing called money. Because, my time has to be spent, A, enjoying life, and B, making enough money to live and pay taxes. And so, but as soon as I can, I'll have a team.
Oh, I just remembered there was some poem that I was reading when I was at school, and the last line was, at the end of it all is a smiling mortician. I was just thinking, death and taxes.
Well,
the certainties of life.
Morticians never go out of business, and funnily enough, taxes never go down. So, do you have another quote for me then?
Oh, another quote.
Some fire quotes. I'm totally bossing you around. That's so wrong.
Did we give we didn't give the rummy one yet, did we?
Nope.
Okay. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames.
Totally. Oh, not those who scorched the life out of you.
No.
Oh, no. No. Been there, done that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Next. No, not again.
I have another one as well.
Okay.
So this one is Monet, Claude Monet.
Oh, yes.
I had so much fire in me and so many plans. That's all he said.
Story of my life. I have an ideas book that I carry around. So where is it? It's here. Look,
my ideas book dropped on the floor.
It says dreams. Because they're not all going to turn into reality. Okay, that's a book that I bought for one of my daughters. And, they're like 8 and you give them unicorn stuff. And then when they turn 12, they're like, here you go. So you end up with all sorts of crap with unicorns on it. But, look. Post-its. And do I ever read my ideas book? Do I ever go back to my ideas book? No. I never do, but they need to come out. And so one day, maybe, when I'm super old. But yeah, that's being a human design manifester for you. You never go back. Never do the same thing twice. I think that's why I found teaching so tiring, because I was trying to make my classes better and better and better and better every single time. And so I hardly ever used the stuff that I'd already done. And that's the best road to burnout.
Yeah.
It's the best road to burnout. Reinvent the wheel over and over again. And if I don't watch it, I do the same with my essential oil classes. So I officially forbade myself from from creating a new class ever again. I reuse everything I've ever made, and I've got plenty of classes already.
Oh, so you teach lots of classes as well as your healing practice?
Yeah, and the classes are free. So obviously it's usually for the people who can come in, unless I'm doing one online. Because people need to know how to use their oils. They need to be taught how to use them and not fear them. Respect them, yes. Fear them, no. And so I'm doing another class on the 12th of December where I've got 6 people who are going to come in here and cram and learn about the top 10 essential oils. So I'll probably do it online also, but I like doing it person to person, obviously. But I've done some classes online, and they're somewhere. Probably on the Mum's Got Oils YouTube page, but I'm not even sure. I may have kept them for the people who said they were going to come and they wanted the replay. There's a certain amount of work that needs to go into the Mum's Got Oils website. I had it all done. Somebody set it up for me, and then they went out of business, and my website went.
Oh.
And I'd paid for the migration, blah, 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 and they never did the work. And I was going through somebody else. Proof again that I need to do everything myself. Oh, hello, strongly held belief. How are you? And so, yeah, the Mum's Got Oils website is about 5 years in the making. Since 2015, let's be honest. So that's 8 years in the making. It was there and available for about a month. And then it went to bots. So you'll just have to put up with me and ask me questions straight. But
so people can best find you through Terra Luna. I can't speak now. TerraLunaInti.com.
You can find me through, yes, TerraLunaInti.com is the main website. I have a Terra Luna Inti Facebook page. So that you can send me a messenger thing, whatever you need. I have a page for my practice, which is my entire name all in one go, without the hyphens and the spaces. So that's at Elsa Farouz-Fouquet on Facebook. I tried Instagram. It's just too much effort.
Oh.
I do not like Instagram. I don't look at my navel. I don't show my face that often. Everybody says, oh, do the no like and trust factor and show your face. I got this other stuff to do. So I'm not a crazy fan of Instagram. So I tried Instagram. And then I decided to stop trying Instagram because the FOMO was strong. And the fear of missing out and the fear of disappointing people, of not being in the right place, whoa, that's toxic to me. So I decided to just, the accounts are there.
Can't
They hardly do anything. This is, for me, it was the same exercise as unsubscribing from mailing lists and all sorts of things. It just comes in and hits your energy, and you don't have enough time or energy or willingness to go and look at the interesting stuff that people are sending you. And so I unsubscribed because it's just self-preservation. So not using Instagram was part of self-preservation for me. And not everything in marketing works the way it works for everybody else. And when they tell you, you've got to be consistent and you've got to post every, 3 days at different times, or blah, 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 blah. That is so inauthentic. It's so pre-planned. And for me, it screams fake. And I can't do fake.
No.
There's no way I can do fake. So I'm an ego manifester, which means it's the will. It's not, look at me, I'm wonderful. It's the whole willpower thing. And I will not do what people tell me to do. So that's just the way it is. I've made my peace with it. In network marketing, it drives your uplines crazy because there's like follow the system. This is how it works. You do this, and it's going to work, and blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't work for me. So I burn out. I see the wisdom in burning out. And then I don't do it again. And then I do it my way. So be it if it's 15 times slower than it is for other people. I want my energy to go into my people.
Yeah.
Not into talking to people whose screen I may come across eventually if I play the algorithms and the frequency of posting and all this. I really don't care about that. I care about the people who come across me because they're seeking me out.
Yes.
I don't want to talk to the masses. I want to talk to the one person who feels like shit and needs to feel better.
Precisely.
That's all. And who wants to do something to feel better? Because you can want to feel better, but not be ready to make your move. That's the people I want to talk to. Not the masses. I love the masses. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to lose my energy to try and speak to the masses. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not trying to change the world 500,000 followers at a time. I just want to have an impact on one person at a time.
Yeah, but by changing one person's life in some respects, you can actually affect lots of people.
Yeah, let the ripple effect do its thing.
Change the world.
Yeah, you let the ripple effect do its thing, right? It's like, let karma do the dirty job. Someone's being a shit to you. Let karma take care of it. But that's the opposite. Let the ripple effect do the thing. If somebody's been helped, they're going to talk to someone else. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Rather than going crazy with Facebook ads and no. I still should on myself about, maybe I should do this and I should do that on a regular basis, but I should also be probably 20 kilos lighter, and telling myself that still hasn't made it happen. So
enough shoulds.
Enough shoulds. Don't should on yourself. Should not should on yourself. Yeah. And don't listen to anybody who tells you what you should do, including me. Do your thing.
Do you think we should kind of wrap up?
I'm not the boss here, you are. You're the one who asked me to come on. You wanted to show people what it was like to be fire. Yeah. But I'm only looking for peace, so I get there through burning. Yeah, my human design is peace, I think. Yeah, that's my strategy is to talk. Clearly, I'm using my strategy a lot. Inform people. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I inform people, and I live, and I don't talk about stuff that I don't know. And I do my healing modalities and stuff for myself first, and those around me, and then I can feel confident that it's going to work and it's going to impact other people positively, and then I bring peace, hopefully. And that's what brings me peace. That's the good thing about having the juice to help other people, that you feel good.
Yeah.
When someone comes in with a knot in their stomach and they come out, that's there, that thing there. That's what I like.
Yes. Beautiful.
So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't like being told what to do. So I don't. Try not to do it to others.
Well, my freedom-seeking friend.
Yes. What I want to do.
We're going to give our listeners a little bit of freedom and thank them for joining us now or in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you can follow Elsa by looking at terralunainti.com.
Yep.
And anything else that I've said in the notes below.
Yeah, and all the other stuff. Yeah, just
All right.
and you can get in touch with Emily, and you already know her YouTube channel, don't you? Because you're already on there. Are you also on Facebook at the same time? Yes, we are.
I am.
Hello,
Lovely Facebookers people too.
and because I don't see who's online, or I can't see anything. Just you and me. That's all I can see. And yeah, follow Emily, and please ask her to do you an astrology reading, because she's really good.
Oh, thanks, Elsa.
Good. And human and not full of crap. I don't like full of crap people, so I don't hang out with people who are full of crap.
No, me neither.
And I do use the C word, that one, the crap one.
Yeah. I respectfully don't swear on my channel if I can help it.
Oh,
but I allow other people to, because it's fun.
I'm not sorry. I'm not going to pretend. Okay,
for giggles earlier.
For the obligation side of things, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
for the real side, I'm not sorry.
Not. There's no need to apologize. Be you. That's all I ask.
There's more important stuff to worry about. Yeah. You can not swear, and
swear offline instead.
And I'll swear for both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you flinched earlier. You thought, "Ooh, unsuitable."
No. I almost swore earlier, and I was just like, "No, Emily, you don't usually swear online, so keep it you.
Keep it clean." Okay, so I don't think before I speak. There's never anything prepared. So before I speak, there's never anything prepared. And so yeah, if it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out. It's just the way it is. There we go. All right, we've kept people long enough, haven't we?
We have.
Okay.
All right. Lots of love, and we can carry on talking if you like, but I'm going to end now.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye, people.
Bye, people. Au revoir.
Au revoir.